Hello everybody and welcome back to Time to Cook, the cook-along show where we help you try out new delicious recipes every week. Each Monday we give you the dish and all the ingredients you'll need to cook along with us, and then on Wednesday we upload a full cook-along video of the entire process from start to finish so you can just press play and cook along at home. This week we are back in Taylor's kitchen. Hey Taylor.
Hi.
Thanks so much for having us back.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so this is week one of a brand new format on Time to Cook. Instead of me continually asking my friends to come up with delicious dishes to cook for me, I decided, it was about time that I actually did a bit more work and
it's true.
Bring something to the table, quite literally.
It was clear that no one really came up to the standard of the absolute first one, so...
Exactly, yeah, so Taylor was guinea pig pilot episode, and this is why I'm also back with you first time around with this new format. You are my favourite guinea pig.
Excellent, very good.
So instead, I'm now going to bring the dish every week, and I will teach it to a different friend every single week. We also think this might help with the cook-along ability of the dishes, because there's no chance of people forgetting to mention a step, putting something in, not telling people what they're doing. So yeah, hopefully this should iron out any of those little problems as well. So this week, this is quite exciting actually, because it also means I can collaborate with people far and wide and gather recipes from a wider field. Mm-hmm. So this is a recipe by some friends of mine back in the UK, Dom and Joe. They're a brother-sister duo. They love food and they made a website, I think early last year or end of 2019. It's called Dojo Eats, and they post a recipe every month or couple of months or so. Veggie, vegan, non-veggie, just all kinds of stuff, but always absolutely delicious. So I was really excited to collaborate with them in a way, and this new format has given me the chance to do that. So the recipe that I've chosen from their website to make you cook for me today, to teach you, let's put it that way, that's better.
Cook monkey.
That's really what it's about now. I've got a whip behind the camera.
Yeah.
It's a chickpea pancake recipe with spiced tomato, onion and paneer topping, and it is just delicious. Super, super customizable. Like once you've got the basics down, you could chuck in or on whatever you like, really. But I think this is a great number to have on standby, largely at the moment because it involves a lot of easy store-cupboard ingredients that once you've bought them once, you've got on hand. And then the fresh ingredients, I don't know about you, but like tomatoes I usually always have, onions I generally always have. So yeah, it's a really good one for when you're maybe not getting out to the shops quite as much as usual. So I think we're all probably in that boat right now.
Yeah.
So this is what we are going to need and what you are going to have to get to cook along with us. We're going to be cooking enough for 2 really hungry people, which is us. Or 3 if you are not so gluttonous.
Or 1 Taylor.
Or 1 Taylor. Yeah, I'm not actually even going to eat the dish now. There is nothing in this for me now.
You can't offer me pancakes and expect that I won't eat all the pancakes.
Yeah, that's very true. All right, I'm going to hide a little bit of batter so that I'll actually get a look in. So that's how many we're going to be cooking for. If you're cooking for more, obviously just up the quantities a little bit. Everything that we're making can be kept if you're only cooking for 1 and you are not a tailor, then you can keep the extras, keep the batter to one side and you can cook it up the next day. That works perfectly fine. So what we are going to need is, for the pancakes, chickpea flour. This is going to be the base for our pancakes. A really nice flavourful flour. Have you had?
I have never used it.
Really?
No.
Exciting. Well, then that's great. Gram flour, I believe this is called in the States. We're going to be using 200 grams of that. And this is actually not in the original recipe. This is something I've added in purely to get our quota of greens in the dish as well. We're going to be putting some spinach in it. So we're going to be chopping this up really fine and adding it to the chickpea pancakes. Totally optional. If you don't have spinach or if you don't care about getting your greens quota, you can leave that out. They are just as delicious without. But I thought, if there's an option to get some spinach in, we'll take it. So about 2 big handfuls of that, I would say, for 2 people works out about right. We'll need some baking powder in there. I think in the recipe it says half a teaspoon, but here in Germany, our baking powder is for some reason a lot less strong and active than the baking powder in the UK. I don't know if you've ever noticed that.
I just generally am disappointed with any sort of flour.
Things don't rise
in Germany.
here.
Yeah.
Self-raising
Everything is
flour,
dense.
also not a thing
I mean,
here.
they're bread you could build a house out of,
Yeah.
so I guess it makes sense.
Multi-purpose, but not very good for eating.
No.
So yeah, if you're in the UK, half a teaspoon I'm sure is fine. If you're in Germany, as we are, then we're probably going to need a whole teaspoon to get the same kind of rise on it. Then we'll be putting some spices into the pancake mix. Some garam masala. Half a teaspoon will be going into the pancake mix, but half will also be going into the topping. So you want to make sure you've got about a teaspoon total of that to hand. We will also be putting half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper into the batter. Turmeric, I think we're going in with about a teaspoon of that. And cumin, a teaspoon of that as well is going to go into the pancake batter. So those are our flavourings for the batter. Oh, these pancakes are so good, honestly. They're going to change.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
All those spices I'm down for.
You're down with them, exactly. Then moving on to the topping, we're going to be making a really nice, reduced, kind of caramelized onion topping. So we're going to want 3 red onions for that. They are going to be cooked along with actually just 1 clove of garlic, which sounds a bit paltry, but it's all we need. 1 big clove, maybe. And tomatoes, 250 grams of tomatoes we've got here. The recipe on the website calls for cherry or plum tomatoes. I had some little cherry tomatoes, but I also had a few big tomatoes, so we're kind of doing a mixture of both. I've done it with both, and I find it works great either way, so don't worry about that too much. And then the star of the topping, really, a big chunk of paneer, because fried cheese is always a good thing. So we've got 250 grams of paneer here for 2 people. And yeah, we'll be frying that up, getting it nice and crispy, and then that goes on top. It's very delicious. A few spices are going to be going into that as well. I mentioned already the garam masala, but we're also going to put some ground ginger into there. I'm sure you could use fresh ginger as well. I don't know if this was kind of a decision to keep it more store cupboard friendly, but yeah, why not? It's easier, less prep, and then it comes out just as delicious. We're also going to be toasting about a teaspoon of whole cumin seeds, and they're going to be going into the sauce as well. That is optional. They do say that you can leave those out and it doesn't affect the end flavour so much. And then for the fresh bits to go on top, we've got a nice big bunch of coriander here. We're probably going to use about half of this for 2, just a handful. And some limes. Probably only 1 lime is needed for 2 people, but I had a second one, so I brought it along, basically. So yeah, that is basically it. Otherwise, you're going to need some standard essentials, salt, a little bit of pepper, and some frying oil. So any oil that you can put on a high heat. I think we're going to use peanut, but rapeseed oil, canola oil, sunflower oil would all be good options as well. Probably just not olive oil, because we're going to be cooking a little bit too hot for olive oil, I would say. And that's everything. Are your taste buds tantalized?
I'm excited. Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm just thinking how the next time I make this, I'm just going to go all the cheeses.
All the cheeses. More cheese.
Paneer, cheddar, feta, camembert, all the cheese.
That sounds weird. That sounds like a very different dish. But you know, I'm still willing to come around. Let me know when that's happening. I should say, equipment-wise, it's very, very basic. We are going to be using... I've actually not decided whether we're going to use just 1 pan or 2 pans, whether we're going to do it very methodically and not be double cooking at any point, in which case we could just use the 1 pan all the way through, or whether we're going to cook the pancakes at the same time. I'm going to see how hectic it feels when it comes to it. But as ever, check the video description underneath and we will let you know exactly what we did and what we used. And yeah, I think that's about it for now.
Cool.
Let's get cooking. All right, guys, you'll have a few days to source your ingredients as ever, and we will see you on Wednesday for the cook along. See you then. Bye.
Bye.